In this video lesson, we are going to continue on with MIDI drum programming and EZDrummer, and here we're going to take a look at the mixer section. So let's go and hit the mixer tab right there. And also I want to note that I've got my audio track muted, so we'll just be focusing on the sound of EZDrummer. Here in the mixer, I have kick, snare, and hat. Note that those are mono tracks, toms, overhead, ambient, compressed room, and reverb, and those are stereo tracks. Here they have tracks for your percussion instruments, your one-shots, shakers, tambourine, and percussion ambient mix track there. We're not going to be using these tracks because we didn't use any of the percussion features in EZDrummer when we were programming. So we can either just leave those or mute those. I'm just going to leave those alone. Down here we've got some options: reverb, dynamics, pitch, and mic bleed. Let's just go ahead and review those really quickly. Let's start with reverb. I'm going to solo my reverb here and bring it up in the mix. Let's go ahead and listen to that. Let's increase, decrease, about to where it was, and I'll bring back my mix channel to about where it was there. Let's listen to the compression for the dynamics. Let's increase, decrease, pitch change, heads of the drums, cymbals, and finally mic bleed. Now, to get back to square one, simply go up here to where it says EZDrummer Modern 2 Basic, and let's just go ahead and reset it, and there we go. Now we're back to square one. Okay, let's see what we can do as far as getting a little bit more elaborate here on our final mix plans. Let's say we really are ready to complete our project, and we'd like to have each one of these drums on an individual audio track in Pro Tools. Well, what I've done here, let me scoot EZDrummer out of the way. And there are a number of ways you could do this. You could either use audio tracks or auxiliary tracks. I'm using auxiliary tracks here. And I've created an auxiliary track to go with each one of the tracks in EZDrummer. So I've created a track for snare, hat, toms, overhead, ambient, comp, and reverb right here. Snare, hat, toms, overhead, ambient, and comp. And I'm going to leave the original EZDrummer source track, and that's going to handle the audio for my kick. So I'm going to put the output here to output 2, output 3, toms, output 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's go over here now, and let's hit spacebar and see what we're hearing. All we're hearing is the audio from the kick on the original drummer, the EZDrummer source track right there, the stereo instrument track. Okay, let's go to our mix window and over here, and let's change the input of this first track. So let's go and see what we're working on here. There we go. Let's make that a little bit bigger, and there we are there. And there we go. So we're working on our snare track right there. Okay, right here, input, change that to plug in EZDrummer number 2, and we'll do the left side because that's typically for mono. You'll do the left. For the hat, input there, plug in EZDrummer 3 left. For our toms, input, plug in EZDrummer 4, and it knows that it's stereo, so it doesn't give you a left or right option. The overhead right here, input, plug in EZDrummer 5. For our ambient, input, plug in EZDrummer 6. For our compressed room, input, plug in EZDrummer 7. And for our reverb, input, plug in EZDrummer 8. Let's hit spacebar. Now what we can do, now that we're here, we can add EQ compression to any one of our drums. So let's go ahead And let's add something to our snare track. So plugin, EQ. Let's just go ahead and boost the hi-hat a little bit on that. And we'll solo that. We'll solo safe. So Command, click on the solo. Oh, there we go. There we go. You can see that the solo is grayed out. What I did, I soloed safe that. So hold on my Command key. Now it's not solo safe, so everything else is locked out. Solo safe means that this track will always be active. So Command, click on the solo button. Now I can solo this track. Okay, let's add some EQ. Okay, so you get the idea there. So we can add any kind of signal processing on any one of the tracks now using this breakout feature with the mixer feature in EZDrummer. So I'll let you have at it to your creative heart's content, but that is a pretty good overview of the mix feature in EZDrummer, and I think you're all ready to go ahead and make the best MIDI drum track ever in the history of MIDI drums.